Well, hi there. Thank you for joining me at Juanette's Crafting Corner. Before we start, I would like to say thank you to a couple of people for their lovely comments. One is Ivy, and her YouTube channel is Ivy's Shabby Crafts. She does beautiful journals with lots of lace and just very beautiful. Check out her channel. I would like to say thank you to Christina at Christina Creates. She also is doing some fantastic work with stitching and all kinds of junk journals. Thank you, Yvonne Beasley, for your lovely comment, and for Sherry, my sister, who commented and gave me a very nice compliment also. And then I want to give a very special thank you to Graciela Valdez Vera. Now, she sent me a birthday card last June. She lives in Germany, and she sent me another card. And she just writes, "Hello, Juanette. Just a little note to keep in touch. The way things are going around the world make clear that it is important to value friendship and life. Hope everything is fine and remains that way all year long. Graciela Valdez Vera." Isn't that a beautiful card? Thank you, Graciela. And I'm going to get a little package of Happy Mail sent off to you because I thought that was so kind of you. And in today's video, we are going to be working on tag number 14. Here is my finished product, and let's get started on that right now. Well, hello, crafters. Thank you for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. Today's craft along is going to be doing tag number 14 from Anne Brooks 52 Tags Handmade. And this week's prompt was to create a pocket and then place in that pocket a treasure from some place you have been. So I have been to many places in Europe, and my kid's father was born in Italy, and this material is from Italy. I received it from Roxanne at Roxy Creations. It's a beautiful hemp fabric. And then the treasure that I've decided to put in the pocket is some lace that I bought in 1984 in France, the first time we had gone to France. Now, like I said, I told you my kids' father was born in Italy, but when they were when he was 4 years old, they moved to France because it was soon after World War II, and France was a little better off than Italy economically. So this is the lace I bought, and I actually have quite a bit of it. It's just absolutely beautiful. I actually had a lot of it hanging in my windows in my home in Scottsdale when I was first married, because that's what they do in France, and maybe even Italy too. They have a lot of lace, beautiful lace hanging from their windows. So I've cut out a small piece of that lace, the flower, and I'm going to tuck it into that little pocket. Now, this is some more material that I received from Roxanne at Roxy's Creations. And what I thought I might do, isn't that absolutely stunning material? I just love it. So I cut a little section off of it, and I thought I would kind of add some stitching to it and put it on top of the pocket. So I'm going to just fold this little section down first and then stitch around the pocket. And I'm going to use this thread here, 11141. It may be a silk thread. And I'm just going to do just a little small little straight stitch all around it, just to anchor that pocket down. And I need my magnifying glasses on. I think I've showed you guys these before. These are fantastic for close-up work. You look like a crazy woman though with them on, but they work beautifully for sewing. So I'm just going to do some straight stitches here, not be real careful with them to make sure that they're even. Again, a lot of this slow stitching is kind of messy, not as perfect as you would do if you were embroidering something. There you go. So I'm just going to visit a little with you guys as I stitch here. If you don't want to hear my stories, then you are welcome to fast forward. But if you want to get to know me a little bit more, just stay tuned and listen. So in 1983, I was taking cooking lessons at a French restaurant. I was a nurse at the time, but thought I might want to change careers and become a chef. So I started taking cooking lessons at a French restaurant. And that's where I met my husband. And then in 1984, we had our first daughter, Giselle. And when she was only 6 weeks old, we went to France to be able to introduce her to the grandparents. Now, I didn't speak French, and they didn't speak English. But my mother-in-law, who was an absolutely delightful woman, and by the way, I'm using all 6 strands of this material just to give it a lot of dimension. But anyway, she was a delightful woman. And when we arrived in the guest room where we were going to be staying, she laid a beautiful, oops, dang it, I hate when I do that, rats. Anyway, she laid a beautiful little white lace nightgown on the bed, right tacked up on the pillows for our daughter. And it had beautiful, like, embroidery stitching all over it. I don't believe she made it. I believe she had bought it from a little shop in the village they lived in. But we stayed in Europe for 6 weeks that time and traveled all over. We went to Italy, all through France. Adrian really wanted to show me his beautiful country. And I must say, both France and Italy are 2 of my all-time favorite places I have ever been to. France, because of the food. I tell you, those French, they know how to cook. Oh my heavens. And like I said, my daughter was only 6 weeks old at the time. And we took enough clothes to last us 6 months. I don't know what the heck we were thinking. We took a huge trunk and a couple of suitcases. And of course, most of it just stayed at my mother-in-law's house in France while we traveled all over the country. Now, when I travel, I literally take a carry-on. That's it. Carry-on. I learned that as long as you're going to be able to stay in one place for at least 2 nights, you can wash out your undergarments and you basically need 1 pair of shoes. That's it. Good walking shoes. And that's even, the carry-on is with making sure I have enough room to bring home some souvenirs. Right when the unmentionable that started next or last March, you know what I'm talking about. The thing that threw us all for a loop. I actually was in the Philippines when that started, when I started hearing it on the news. And then I had a trip planned to go to Ireland that was canceled, and it still has not happened over a year later. Thank goodness the airline did give me my refund on my flight, and the people that set up the tour are fantastic. And I know that they are good for the entire cost of the trip. Hotels, meals, stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be able to take it. So I'm just doing a very simple straight stitch all around, just to attach the pocket. And you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to attach this down, and I didn't do it before I stitched that. Rats. It's not gonna be easy to do that. Maybe I'll just put lace over it, glue it down, and then stitch some lace on there. I don't know. I hate when I do that. I was too busy telling you guys about France and Italy that I forgot that I was gonna do some stitches across there. Oh well. So, what are you guys up to? I tell you, I am enjoying this slow stitching and getting back into sewing. Oh, so I was thinking about what I was going to put into the pocket. And I remembered that little outfit that my mother-in-law had left on the bed for my daughter. And so I went digging into a box because I thought I still had it. Maybe I gave it to her. I don't know. But I went digging into a box to try to find it. A box that was in the garage. And you know what I found? Oh my gosh. I found a quilt that I had been working on. All of the blocks are sewn. All of the squares that it's going to go on are sewn. It's completely cut, ready to be stitched together. I don't even remember. It's got to be 15 years ago that I started on that quilt. And it's absolutely stunning material. There used to be a fabric and quilting store in Phoenix called the Quilted Apple. And we're talking about a really beautiful quilting store. And that's where actually I used to go and take lessons. And they only sold top quality material. I mean, these were serious quilters. And so this material that I found is absolutely beautiful. I have it laying right over here. Let me show you real quick. So this is the material for the squares. And then here are all the little triangles that are going to go into it. Thank goodness, right with the material is the instructions for the quilt. So it shouldn't be difficult for me to finish that off. Oh my gosh, Hewitt. Now what I want to do here, I do want to do something. Should I just cast this off? I wanted to put some French knots in this to hold this down. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to just cast off here or try to maneuver this? Cast off there, Hewitt. Yeah, I'm trying to be lazy. Let me just go here. I think if you saw my journal that I made for my brother, where I refurbished the 1898 book, you'll have seen some family pictures in there. And seen pictures of my siblings and I at Easter with our beautiful little dresses that I think I'm going to use a different color for those little French knots. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use every single color, make a different French knot. But anyway, our mother used to make all of our clothes. And she was a very good seamstress. So I can't even remember what age I was when she started teaching me to sew. Now, I do recall that back in those days, now again, I'm 66 years old, not that old, but you were prepared to be a wife. So you were taught how to sew. I think I'm just going to do a 3, since this is so much. Maybe it's just a 2, since this is so much thread. You know what I should have done? I think I'm going to take some of this thread off. 6 is too many. So I'm going to put the camera on hold while I do a few of these French knots through here, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so I have put some French knots, 3 here, 5 here, and 1 there. And the other thing I thought I might do is tack it underneath this flap here, that little fold, bring it down a little bit, and put some of this lace on there. Maybe I'll put the lace up there. But anyway, I'm going to finish working on this, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do with that. So this color is 918, and I'm going to just accent these little flowers here. Now, I just got something delivered by Amazon, and I am so excited, you guys, because I have been wanting to try this. Let me show you what I got. I got one of the gel press medium plates. And then I ordered, oh, sorry for the glare, but the 60 acrylic colors. Oh, you can see the ceiling fan going on around there. Oh, it's already getting hot here, you guys. You guys know I live in Arizona, and in the summer, we can count on 110 degrees, which I'd have to look at, see what that is Celsius, but 110 degrees day after day after day, well, and sometimes 115 degrees for a good 3 months. I'm sorry, it is miserable. Ugh. Now, we do have mild winters, no snow, but if my children didn't live here, I don't think I would live here. Do a couple of longer stitches too. Yeah, I've lived here a long time, but I do not enjoy it because of that heat. So I'm going to keep stitching this, just adding a little bit of color, and then I will be back with you guys. Okay, so I've added some stitches around this flower with, like I said, 918, and now I'm taking, this is 353, and I'm going to do a little bit of stitches around here, and these are just basically straight stitches just jetting out from the inside of the flower. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I have finished stitching this part of the flower. I put a couple of the French knots here, and then I am taking this kind of like, what's it called? Steel Blue 926, and I'm going to stitch along the darker area of this flower. So we'll just start down here. Again, I need my magnifying spectacles on so I can see what I'm doing. And again, like I said, it's basically just a straight stitch, just to kind of bring out a little bit more dimension to the flower. And that's it. So I'm going to continue with this, and then I will catch you guys again when I'm done, and we'll get this tag done. But that really is, that's a pretty blue. Okay, I've put a couple of bullion knots here, and with the blue and then kind of that peachy pink color. So now I'm going to do a couple on each side of that. And so what you do for that, this is 3 strands, and I have a quilter's knot at the end. And what you do is you come up with your thread, and then as long as you want your bullion knot to be, so that would be A, then let's say this is B, then you come back up next to A. I'm gonna make sure it's pretty close. And then you wrap your thread however many times, or how big you want your bullion knot to be, and I wrapped it around 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you bring your needle all the way through, kind of holding that thread. Let me lay it down. There you go. Pull it all the way through, and you see how it bunches up there, and then as you continue to bring it over and back where B would be, then that lays down. You see how it kind of gives you that nice little caterpillar look? And then I'm going to come down and anchor it. And I have some blue thread here. I wasn't sure if I needed it anymore. I don't, so let me just cast this off. And it's going to be glued down, that little flap, so it doesn't matter that this string is hanging here. Okay, that's going to be glued down there. Just grab my scissors. I want to make sure I don't cut the knot. And then I'm going to put one more bullion knot over on this side. So again, you're going to come up at point A. Then you're going to go down at point B, which is about, maybe that's 1/8 of an inch or so. And again, it depends on how big you want your bullion knot to be. Then up, and I'm making sure that I'm not sewing it down there, because then I won't be able to put something in my pocket. So bring it up, then wrap your thread around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost count. I started thinking about something else and I lost count. All righty here, Hewitt. Let's try one more time. Wait. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? In all honesty, I don't think it matters that much. Pull it all the way through and then bring it back over this way and kind of tighten it up. And then you'll have your nice little bullion knot. Isn't that cute? I just love that. And then I'm going to go down and just kind of secure it. Okay, so I think I might do some French knots or something there, but let's see what it looks like when I have my other piece on there and my little piece of lace. So I took a little small piece of lace from the fabric that I got in France. I cut off a small piece, and I thought I might sew that there. I maybe don't need anything more there. And then this is going to be sewn on here, just kind of very lightly underneath there, or glued. Haven't decided quite what I want to do. Oh yeah, I like that. And then once I do some coloring up there, that's going to be good. And you know what? I've just realized, unless I put a little piece of like a craft mat in there and let that glue dry, if I put glue here and glue seeps through there, that pocket won't open up. So I should have put this on before. I should have glued this on before I sewed down the flap, or the pocket. But you know what? I'm going to make it work. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to glue it down. And what I will do is like slip in here, just like I said, a piece of like a craft mat or some wax paper or something so that that pocket doesn't glue down. So I have a nice little small mat here. This is a Stampin' Up! Craft mat. I might be able to just slide that in there and put that glue on there. Yeah, and then glue won't get anywhere else. And I may have to then anchor something down so that stays nice and flat. What else could I stick in there? Maybe a spatula. Okay, I'm going to figure it out, and I'll be right back with you guys. So you guys were probably like yelling at me like, you don't have to put that craft mat in there. You can just put some wax paper. So that's what I did. And then I let it set for a little bit, and it is completely dry. And I love that. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic little pocket. Oh. So next is, I think I want to put a tiny bit of lace on there. And let me think about that. I don't want it to cover up the stitches here, and it's too tall. So we're just going to take this little snippet off. So I looked up what 97 degrees Fahrenheit is in Celsius, and it's 36 degrees. So 97 degrees for us here in Arizona is not too bad. Because like I said, it is going to get up to 115. Oh, and I should look what that is in Celsius. Oh, I will. 115 every single day for about 3 months. Once May hits, maybe June. But you may think, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. And yes, it is horrible. However, we don't have any humidity. It is a very, very dry heat, so you don't sweat. So it's just hot. You're not like sweating like you would in the South of the United States. I'm going to pull one more of these little off. And then I'm going to stitch it on with some of my colored threads. And I might just do different lines here. I'll think on that. And when I come back, I will let you guys know what 115 degrees is in Celsius. Oh, and by the way, the hottest it's ever been when I've lived here was one day it was 124 degrees. Okay, be right back. So what I've done is, like I said, I stitched down that lace using a little bit of that steel blue, then a little bit of the pink, and a little bit of that other rust color. And you can see there were holes in the lace, so it was really easy to stitch through that. And then I went ahead and put a little bit of lace over here on this side because I made the pocket larger than the tag, just because I wanted to have enough room for the pocket. And I'm going to hold this up. I hope it does focus so you can see the stitching there. I just love that. I think it came out really nice. We've got our French knots there, or bullion knots and just some straight stitches. And then, like I said, a little bit of that same lace from France is back here. Then I documented what the prompts were and when I bought that lace. And then, like I said, this is the little piece of lace that I bought, and all I'm doing is folding it up, and I'm going to fold it in such a way that these, so it's almost like a little handkerchief in a man's pocket, so these little points stand up, and I'm just going to slide that in there, and then that's going to stick out there. Oh, I think it came out beautiful. I really am pleased with that. And then, so here are the rest of my tags, and I'm just going to add it on there. Just clip it on there. And then I have this hanging in my craft room, so I can look up and see it. Now, this is a little bit late because she's already going to have a new prompt tomorrow, but anyway, I think it came out very nice. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.